Good morning. It's 7:30. Welcome to Breakfast with Bridgett here on News 6 Plus. I'm your host, Bridgett Ellison. Great to be with you. We made it to Friday, finally. So glad. But, you might need your umbrella a little bit again today and maybe into the weekend. But we have some great info coming up for you today. Might want to get out to Lake Nona this weekend. We have details on the Caribbean SunFeast happening in Lake Nona coming up. Also previewing Black Men Sundays podcast with Corey Murray in a little bit. And we'll tell you about some contest details on the insider page at clickorlando.com. But first, we want to get out to the Pinpoint Weather Center with meteorologist Candace Campos. Candace, it has been a bit of a soggy week for us, and that continues. Good morning.
My microphone, my camera doesn't want to work with me today.
Uh-oh. I
Hold
saw
on,
you.
let me see if I can.
Okay.
Let me see if I can
see
fix
you.
something. I know you see me, but
Just cut off a little.
It's a weird, weird spot. Let's see.
There you go.
Ta-da! Okay. Now it tracks with me.
Oh, well, mine doesn't do that.
Yeah, I think they take it off because sometimes it's distracting. But you know what? It works for now, so we're going to run with it. You know what? Today is not going to be a complete washout of a day, Bridgett. Some areas are obviously seeing more rain than others. We got that tropical low. It's sitting out there in the Atlantic. The moisture's kind of spiraling in, but it's along with it just bringing actual rain to the forecast today. It's basically going to open the door to a lot more tropical moisture in place in Central Florida. So when we get those typical sea breeze storms today, Saturday, Sunday, even into next week, we're still going to have so much tropical moisture kind of present. We are going to have that ability to fire up those scattered showers and thunderstorms both Saturday and Sunday. So rain chances do go up by then. So let me show you real quick. Hold on. Let me get you up to speed here. There we go. Here are your weather headlines. All right, so let's talk about those weather headlines for today. Rain chances for today will be upwards about 50% this afternoon, but we are going to continue to see the rain chances go up like 60 to 70% come Saturday and Sunday as that east and west coast sea breeze comes together. So we are watching two areas in the tropics. One is that tropical low that's close by, and the second area is one in the Gulf of Mexico. That is in the Bay of Campeche. That's going to have that potential to develop and move almost kind of in the same vicinity as what we were seeing with Tropical Storm Alberto. So there is certainly some similarities with that. We're not looking at anything extremely impressive when it comes to development on that, but we, of course, will keep our eyes on that. But closer home, there's that area of low pressure that we are watching. It's about 150 to 200 miles just offshore, and it's still forecast to move into areas right along the Florida-Georgia line there. But you can see it's something very impressive. It's a big open wave. The hurricane hunters are scheduled to go investigate that system if need be this afternoon, but of course that will be all dependent on whether or not we get it on shore yet. So you can see here, no matter really, regardless of its developing into a tropical depression or not, it's still roughing up our surf. So we're looking at 6 to 9 foot seas, and then conditions getting better as we head into the weekend. So here's your afternoon forecast. Rain chances, again, will be very dependent on where you are. So if you're watching us from Orlando, your rain chances will be about 50%. The further north you go, it will be a little higher. But for zones further south of Orlando, that's where, because you're not going to see as much rain, you're going to be seeing and dealing with a lot more heat in the forecast. So this is how kind of rain chances shape up for today. About a 60 to 80% this afternoon, and then down to about a 30 to 40% in areas south of Orlando. So it's really spread out depending on where you live or where you're going to be later on today. So let me show you here clouds and rain forecast. You see kind of that spiral there on the top of your screen. That's an area of low pressure that's still tracking towards the north coast of Florida and into the Georgia coast. A little closer into like lunchtime hour, that's when we will start to see some of those scattered showers and thunderstorms really not developing from the actual wave or the actual low, but more of just those sea breeze driven thunderstorms, which is why I'm going to keep that chance of rain in the forecast into the afternoon. But look what happens on Saturday. Saturday morning, into the afternoon, we're still pretty good dry wise, not dealing with any real rain chances. But look what happens as we head into 3, 4 o'clock in the afternoon. That those storm chances start to widen out. Rain chances do go up to about a 60 to 70%. And a little more than just tropical downpours, these might have a little bit more of a punch of seeing some stronger storms. So some lightning could be embedded with it, gusty winds as well, because again, this is not tropical based. This is more sea breeze storm driven weather forecast. And then we're going to kind of set up the same weather setup for Sunday as well. So as we get results here with your full 7-day forecast, again, rain chances up to about 50% today. We're going to increase that threat even higher Saturday and Sunday. We're talking a 60 to 70%. And we're pretty much going to stay in that zone throughout the rest of the week, as again, all that tropical moisture that this low is kind of bringing in is going to kind of just stay suspended over the area. So as we continue to heat up every afternoon, we'll have a pretty decent chance of having some moisture to work with. Oh, I can't hear you. No, I can't hear you. Oh,
okay.
now I can.
Oh,
I can now.
There we are. All right, great.
What were you saying?
Oh, well, I was saying that, we need the rain, but we'll just have to sort of dodge it or check the radar on our phones and sort of work around it. I lost one of my umbrellas this week.
I heard that Trooper Steve used a beach umbrella to get to his car today.
Yeah.
And I can say, because I saw it, he does have ring camera proof. So if we can nudge him to post it, because it's pretty hysterical.
Oh boy.
Watching him this morning, you think he's going to open up this little like umbrella and it's like this huge thing. But you know what? Yeah, keep the umbrellas handy. If you got birthday parties, things like that you want to do this weekend, hopefully we can have some indoor options after about 3-4 o'clock. Maybe a movie or something.
Yeah, that sounds good. Maybe Inside Out 2.
I've been wanting to watch it. I got to go watch it.
I heard it's a little deep, so all right.
I know. Okay,
all right.
Deal.
Thanks, Giddis.
Bye.
All right, bye. We do want to check in with Trooper Steve, who is out in Results 1, headed out. Oh, there's the umbrella. So you do what you got to do, right? You don't want to mess up your hair.
It barely fits in this truck right now. It's sitting here in the passenger seat. I had to bring it up once she brought it up.
You
got to do what you got to do.
You just had to grab something.
I was searching, and I have like 2 of those tiny little new 6 ones, and I was like, this is not going to work at 3:30 this morning. And I was like, wait. I ran to the garage, and I have 3 beach umbrellas, and I was like, let me grab the smallest one, and it was still huge. I will post it over on my Facebook later, just because it is a sight to see, and Candace thought it was rather funny. But hey, I was dry, did what I got to do, and that's what we're trying to encourage other people to do, because hey, it's going to get interesting in and out, like Candace is saying. I was watching y'all's weather hit, and you just need to be prepared for it. Tis the season, right?
It is. And things got off to a rough start this morning with traffic.
Yeah, we're still watching this fatal crash right now along State Road 417. Unfortunately, it is a double fatal crash. From what I'm reading here, it does appear 3 vehicles involved, one of them being a large dump truck. The reason for the mass scene that you're seeing with all those state troopers is because that's the traffic homicide. Those troopers investigate homicide crashes only. And unfortunately, here in Central Florida, we have a lot. So what you're looking at, DOT Cam 417 southbound at the 6-mile marker. That puts us close to International Drive, just north there of that exit when you're headed in that direction. A little further south from there, I'm using the World Center camera here. You could see that dump truck here, unfortunately, right off to the side there. Heavy damage to one of those vehicles. So what does the radar of our traffic look like? So as you're traveling southbound, maybe leaving the Hunters Creek area, approaching John Young Parkway, you will start to get on the brakes once you go over John Young. The delay now is about a 3-mile delay. The left lane is open, and I could probably guess they'll open another lane here in maybe an hour or so. But if you're getting ready to travel through here, the delays are going to be there for quite some time, and it is a fatal, so please be careful, especially with this weather out there. Eastbound I-4, a little slow from 27, but not as bad as we normally see it. Your drive time, still sitting good. Champions Gate to 408 on a Friday at 27 minutes. You're welcome. Nice and smooth there. If you're headed out towards the attractions or maybe headed to work on a Friday, north of Apopka, 441, nice and clear, east and westbound. And then, of course, out towards Daytona, northern portions, like Candace said, expect that rain, but our roadways, not too bad, Bridgett. with Trooper Steve on patrol, we get a lot. We welcome. I'm not gonna say a lot. We welcome new faces here to News Six, and sometimes they just pop up on your TV, and you're like, wait. Who is that? So recently, we have welcomed Jarrell Baker to our News Six team,
Yes.
joining the reporter ranks. And I tell you, anytime we get an email, Bridgett, with a new name, me being who I am, I Google everybody. I want to see who is joining our team and his vibe, his laugh, and just the way he delivers stories. I'm really excited to not only welcome here to News 6, but to have him jump in the truck with me at 9 a.m. today, and we'll learn a little bit about Mr. Baker. I hear he's a native Floridian, and we'll talk to him so we know who's joining the Getting Results team.
That'll be nice. That'll be nice to go behind the scenes with him. And of course, we had that delightful story for Father's Day from him, and I told him when he was in the newsroom the other day, I loved the father son bakery story. And you actually went out there one time on patrol
Yep.
when
I'm
that
actually
bakery
friends
first
with the
opened.
right, yeah, friends with the owners of those, and the food is great, the pastries are great, and then when I saw the story, I was like, heck yeah, full circle. Jarrell has already figured it out. He
Yeah.
knows the right spots, and the fact that he brought some of those lobster tails
Ooh,
back,
that
major
was a
points,
nice
Jarrell. So we
Monday.
appreciate you.
Yeah. Got the week
Yeah,
started
so
off
that's gonna
right.
happen at 9 a.m.
Okay. Well, we'll
Yes.
see you guys then. Good deal.
All right.
All
Bye.
right. Thanks, Super Steve. So, we like to eat. We always talk about food. And so I was excited when I got a press release about this pop up event in Lake Nona this weekend. And if you are a fan of, international flavors, you're a fan of Caribbean food, a fan of, just anything that is just a little bit more love into it, you'll want to check out the Caribbean SunFeast in Lake Nona this weekend. And we have some special guests this morning. Tamara Monlouis and Chef Shauna are joining us this morning to talk about this inaugural event. Good morning, ladies.
Good morning.
So, what is the history behind coming up with this event this weekend, the Caribbean Sunfeast?
So the history behind it is we are both Caribbean. I'm from Trinidad. She's from Jamaica.
Yep.
And I moved to Lake Nona. And one of the first things is someone from the Caribbean you recognize is when there is no Caribbean food
Oh yeah,
in a 5 mile radius. You're like, okay, what's happening here?
right.
So right away we recognized the gap. We met at the East Orlando Chamber of Commerce, and
Hmm.
so we were like, "Hey, there could be an opportunity here," and we talked about it, and that's how it started.
And you are so right because in Central Florida, whenever I come across a place that has some Caribbean food, and maybe even if I wasn't even headed there for that, if I come across it, I'm like, oh, you know what? I'm getting something from here while I'm here. You know how that goes. And so this is something that you're hoping that you can make more regular. What's going to happen this weekend?
Yeah, absolutely. Well, it's actually today, and we want to make it more regular. We really want to get to a space where we get to feature Chef Shauna. She is an amazing Jamaican chef, and she really adds a gourmet twist to the Caribbean food. So we want to really try to make this, at least maybe quarterly, monthly, depending on the how the audience receives it. So we're excited to see that. We're getting a lot of traction, and because of that, we're thinking, hey, there's really a great opportunity here. We got great sponsorship. So yeah, we want to see how often we can do this, especially if people are interested and if they enjoy the food.
Okay, so I misspoke. Not this weekend. This is today. So you want people to come and get lunch, come get dinner, and so you
Okay,
have options, right?
we have options. So you have options where for lunch you can do a lunch pickup, and for dinner you can also do a dinner pickup. Dinner has you'll get two complimentary rum punches. So
Ooh.
you get a little drink, some appetizers. Go ahead, talk about it.
Okay, so on our menu, is it okay for me to talk about our
Yes,
menu?
yes, please, chef. Go ahead.
All right. So first thing first, Wagwan, because I have to represent. But the menu, we are featuring our authentic Jamaican jerk chicken. And that right there is a staple and it resonates with a lot of people. So we made sure to have that as
Oh
the
yeah.
featured item on the menu. And everybody loves a good jerk chicken.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
And then And then we'll also have some Mexican tipsy shrimp. And what we're going to do is to marinate the shrimp and then grill it with some tequila lime butter
Oh
sauce.
my
So that's
goodness.
bringing a different twist to it. And we're pushing the tequila forward because we're definitely representing on that one. And then for the vegans, we have our curry coconut chickpeas. And
Mm.
that is just an amazing combination of
Mm.
flavors within itself. So you don't even need meat for this dish. It's something that they will definitely enjoy. And I've had a lot of people request that over the last couple of months. So I'm saying, you know what, let's push this forward and introduce it to others that, hey, there are other options that you can do with chickpeas that still has that really nice flavor to it.
I feel like I can almost smell this. So how do we find you? Because I get off at 12:30, and I could be in Lake Nona maybe by like 1:15 ish. So where how do we get there? How do we find you for this special event?
Sure, absolutely. So we are at the Pixon in Lake Nona, 7004 Tavistock Lakes Boulevard. There are tickets, so you can scan this QR code. It'll take you to the landing page. That will take you over to where you can buy those tickets.
Mhm.
Lunch is between 11 and 3, and dinner is from 5 to 9. So we'll probably, you can buy tickets all the way up until maybe about 10 o'clock or 10:30 for lunch, and then you can only buy dinner tickets. We want to make sure that we don't, we make sure that everyone gets, we have a little bit of
Mhm.
extra. So we want to make sure everyone gets, their food. We don't want crazy lines this time, definitely next time.
Right, right, right.
But definitely.
So we'll register to come in, and so can we eat there or take it away?
Absolutely. For dinner, you can absolutely eat here. The vibe at the Pixin, the rooftop, the
Mhm.
views are amazing. We have an indoor space in case of rain,
Okay.
but it's really a great view. It looks over Lake Nona, and it's a great opportunity to see that horizon, later on in the evening. So
Mhm.
definitely, you can absolutely eat here. Casual dining, Caribbean style. If you've
Hmm.
been to the Caribbean, you know how we do it.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
The problem is always for me saving room for other things because I always want to fill up on, one thing because it's just so good, like the jerk chicken or the
Right.
Mhm.
oxtails or something like that. So you're self-taught chef, right? You learned a lot from your
Yes, I am.
grandmother.
Yes.
And we know that,
I
those recipes are all about love.
That is so true. That's exactly what she taught me growing up, just hanging out with her in the kitchen and learning basically from scratch, hey, how do you cut up a chicken? And then from there, now it's time to season it. There are several different ways of seasoning, but you also want to make sure that it has flavor. And that's really when I got introduced to flavor, like flavor. And she's like, yes, your food has to have flavor. If it has no flavor, no one will enjoy it. And
Yeah.
my grandmother, she family, she was cooking for 14 to 16 people on a daily basis, all her
Mm.
kids. And those that didn't live with her would stop by for dinner on their way home just to get a plate. So it's something that has been like stuck within me for like several years.
Well, I'm excited, and I hope that once you can get this one off the ground, maybe you can have a more permanent location in Lake Nona because I know there's so many great restaurants out there, and if that flavor is missing, that like you said, Tamara, there's a demand.
Yeah.
Hmm.
100%. Absolutely.
Yes, there is.
Yeah, so we're here to
Well, this is exciting. Hopefully, people will come in there and get all those plates, lunch, dinner. We'll show that QR code one more time, and looking forward to tasting all these great flavors. Chef Shauna and Tamara Monlouis, thank you so much for being with us. That's the inaugural Caribbean SunFeast going on today. And so hope lots of folks come out and see you in Lake Nona. I'll try to get out there if I can before I have to pick up the kids.
All
perfect.
right,
Thank you so
awesome.
much.
Thank you.
All
Have a
right.
good
Have
one.
a
All
great one,
right.
Bridget.
Take
Take care.
care.
Bye bye.
Bye.
Bye. Okay, so it's breakfast and now I'm so hungry, right? I'm so hungry now. So make sure you check that out and support local businesses. We want to get over to our photojournalist Corey Murray, who is the host of Black Men Sundays podcast now, previewing this Sunday's episode. And this is an interesting one. Corey, you've got some offshore accounts information for us. Good morning. Happy Friday.
Good morning. I'm happy Friday. I ain't gonna lie. That last interview, I'm hungry. I might go get
Right.
some jerk chicken. But
Yes.
luckily for
I
me, my
scanned that
wife,
code.
Yeah, I scanned it too, but luckily my wife, she made me some curry jerk chicken
Ooh,
with some rice and peas. I'm gonna eat that for breakfast. So Lewis Bowden, I'm sorry, I'm not sharing it. We're gonna be riding out for a shoot, but it's all me.
don't
But
do
this
that. Don't do
black man,
that to Lewis.
nah, hey, I hook him up, man. The wife made
Okay.
him a whole tray of
Oh,
jerk chicken.
I thought
I'm
you
like,
said you
what?
weren't
And
going to
it was hot.
share.
Well, I'm talking about this morning, but we done hooked
Oh,
them up before.
oh
But
no.
anyway, yeah, but anyway, this
All
Black Men
right.
Sundays, we talk
Mm-hmm.
about generational wealth, mental health, finance, and business. So this week's show is very special. We spoke to Anthony Simmons. He's the president and CEO of the Namiro International Corporation. Let's talk about how significant that is. When we use Zelle, when you use Cash App, you're basically transferring money domestically. But let's say I have a cousin in Jamaica, in the
Mm-hmm.
Bahamas, which I do. I can't send them money internationally.
Oh.
So that's where the Namiro International Corporation comes in, because it's basically a mobile app um, that you can use on a cross border remittance level, which is great. So, I had to come out the gates. I said, it's Black Men Sundays. What's the importance of setting up an offshore account internationally? But first off, how do we do that? Because it's summertime, it's June. A lot of people on vacation, a lot of people traveling across the borders. How do you set up
How
an
do you?
account? Let's roll that.
I tell everybody, every country you visit, go to the local bank and see if you can set up a bank account. Most banks with a United States passport, you can open up a bank account very easily. Most people don't realize that. As an American citizen, these banks love and welcome our participation, but we don't know about it, so we never do it. All you got to do is take your passport in, tell them, hey, I want to open up a little savings or a checking account. They probably can use the address of your hotel, which most of us do, and then pretty much they will issue you a bank account. And that way you will actually be able, and then start moving some money into it. Start playing the game. Start seeing what your money looks like when you get their app and you send $100 or $200 a month to your offshore account. You can play that game. They'll give you a W-9, or they may have what they call IRS reciprocity, which means you do not see a report based upon the funds you send overseas. That's the game that others have played. And remember, we're late to the party. Remember, offshore money movement has been going on since 1933 when they changed the laws through FDR, because that's when offshore banking and the gold standard changed. That's when Switzerland became popular. The key is we got to share information. I have bank accounts in 7 countries. And the reason I've done that is because at the end of the day, I want to have the ability to move and be liquid at any given time in case the United States economy collapses. Because remember, at the end of the day, if the United States economy collapses, there's going to be victims and there's going to be winners. I guarantee you the majority of those that are in the 1% are going to be the winners. And those that are stuck who haven't moved in their money, relying on traditional U.S. banks to save them with FDIC, you're in trouble.
Oof. That was
Mm,
heavy. That was
yeah.
really heavy. I was going to ask about FDIC and what's the equivalent overseas with many of the international institutions.
Yeah, you got to tune in. I would love to tell you that, but I don't gave you a minute 30 of him. But one thing about this show, this brother here, like I said, he's the president and CEO of the Namiro International Corporation. He also has bank accounts in 7 countries. So we talk about, because fintech is hot. Orlando, we're a med tech town. Because the sister that we had last week said, okay, fintech, Silicon Valley, the new fintech is Miami, Orlando is med tech. So I asked this brother, I said, what about fintech, like as far as setting up your business and incorporation? He gave us 3 states that you should set your business up in as an incorporation. I'll give you one. Nevada's one. That was the given. We also talk about international real estate, because we talk about, on Black Men Sundays, we talk about generational wealth. And a lot of times our guests talk about real estate investing, whether, they move in the home for a year to not pay 30%, but
Mm-hmm.
then after a year they move out and, flip the house. But we talk about international real estate. We talk about international real estate investment trusts, aka REITs, REITs. We talk about politics and business. And we talk about merchant processing tips. Because again, like I said, his Namiro International Corporation is an international app where, like I said, if I have family or if I have a bank account, across the border, I can
Mm-hmm.
send the money there because you can't do that with Zelle.
Right.
You know, you can't
And
do that
sometimes
with
it's
Cash App.
it's so inconvenient to have to go somewhere and stand in line and do all the wire work and everything. So that's really handy and good to know with so many
Yes,
of us here in Central Florida have family overseas.
that's right.
Yeah.
That's right. Black Men Sundays. This show comes out this Sunday. All podcast platforms, YouTube, TikTok. Matter of fact, I posted the same clip that I just sent you. I have like over 12,000 views on my TikTok. So Black Men Sundays TikTok, Black Men Sundays Instagram, Black Men Sundays, clickorlando.com / Black Men Sundays. Check us out because we're
Yeah.
doing things. You know, we're making sure like you have no excuse if you're not getting money, if your money's not right, and you don't know the process. We have over 114 shows, so the excuses are
Yes.
over now.
All right. Kathleen's wrapping me, Corey, but I'll see you a little bit later and we'll see you Sunday too. All right. Thanks.
Definitely.
Good info. Thank you. All right, make sure you head over to the insider page, clickorlando.com, and enter our July 4th contest. Want to tell you about that really quickly. The City Beautiful and News 6 bringing you the fireworks at the fountain, and you can get an exclusive VIP view. So check that out. And News 6 Morning Anchor and Insider Guy Crystal Moyer is setting that up for you. So we'll have more on clickorlando.com/insider. And don't forget about Hits the Road. We want to hear about those stories in downtown Orlando. 32801. The unsung heroes, the issues, let us know. That's also on clickorlando.com/hits the road. That'll do it for us. Weather-wise is up next. I'll see you at noon and have a great weekend.